Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one, Blue Sir Kayn is the term, I believe. Bruiser Blue Kayn. As we go into level 1 invade Fiesta. Always good. You do run the risk of losing your top side. The Rock kind of does his job here. I'm anticipating the blue team will kind of ward this as they go on the chase down. But yeah, you know, Assassin's problem when you go in, if the enemy team is coordinated and has the crowd control component, well, you just get CC'd and blowed up. However, if you decide to be a Kha'Zix or a Blue Kayn enthusiast, you can just go drinker and, you know, build bruisery, and basically, not only do you retain the amount of damage you need, minus a little bit, you also become, you know, unkillable almost. The healing, the pseudo-tankiness is part of that build, and the kit really does change the nature of how you can play the champion, as we all saw with the KD doing last night. Now, the difference between something like a Kha'Zix and a Kayn here is that we actually still go the Muromana, and that gives you obviously the ability to spam spells, stay on the field, poke a lot, and obviously bonus damage components. So just an editor's note, an injection at the beginning of the game. He doesn't actually go Muromana this game, but though it's typically used, he's just preferring to go for raw statistics because of the lead he gets. We'll see how it goes, and we'll discuss as it happens. Runes are on your screen now. We stick with, or you would have seen them if they were up. You stick with Dark Harvest, Rune Set, you have Presence of Mind, Relentless Hunter to move fast, and it looks like we're going for an absolute standard 315 full clear. You know, queuing close to the wall to make sure we shorten that travel time, get both damage procs 100%, something that a lot of K-mains didn't do originally, and that costs you a lot of time. Now, in this video, not only are we focusing very heavily on how Blue Kayn, the Shadow Assassin, especially with this build, can just become a disgusting 1v9 smurf machine at any level of rank. That's why we're looking at a challenger player who mains Kayn in 450 odd games already. And, you know, I was scouting a few months ago, and I remember this guy had like 13.5 CS per minute in a game. And I'm just like, how is that even possible? That is absolutely obscene to do that in high elo as well. So hopefully you get a good idea of how he plays a champion. And most importantly, the need for a lot of you in all your elos, the game style he's going to use here is picking on someone to a level that's almost unfair because they might get reported for inting. And he doesn't do the wolf dragging trick here, but he can definitely pull the blue and the Gromp together and get that clear time down nicely. So we're going to see what he does after the full clear, and that's definitely something that a lot of K-mains don't do. And when you do it properly, as Shadow Assassin specifically, it allows you to take over games at an unnatural level, get your form early, retain map control, farm a lot, and obviously when you want to be the win condition yourself, and you'll see this, the mid laner and the rest of the team don't really do anything. It's like the Kobe 81 point game, they're just put on this in this game to watch the Kayn carry, and that's essentially what you want when you're smurfing, right? So let's see how he goes about it, and he does it in Challenger, so if he does it in Challenger, you can do it too. First full clear into a crab, translate that to a mid lane opportunistic gank. I always like this a lot. The Ignite should take him down. Perfect. You know, this is so simple. Full clear, enemy jungler goes to the top side, takes this crab. You take this crab, look bottom lane. If it's gankable, you gank it. If not, you go mid lane. Otherwise, you can always gank bottom lane and go back in to gank mid lane, you know? So you can always get together 2 ganks before you're first back. The enemy jungler, once you show or recognize that you did a full clear, you will have the 28 CS required to enable that tracking component of their mind. And now you can just hold the wave, especially if your mid lane that doesn't have TP. Don't push it, please. And don't compromise the nature of the lane pushing back into it, because you want the lane to be in a good position when it sort of gets back to her. Graves dies solo, very close on the top side. The Dyna has not shown yet. So from the Kayn's perspective, he's actually going to stick around and fight. He's just absorbing all the orbs he can, okay? Specifically because I should actually move this like that. Flash burned by the echo. Hold up, the things weren't in order. I'm tilted. Okay, good. Now, did I say Dyna? I meant Nocturne if I said that. I don't know why I said Dyna. I just see it so much. At this point, you know, you're kind of just buying time for your second tier camps to spawn again. And the Nocturne, if he takes all of this, there's a chance he kind of counter jungles you here. But that's reliant on his top lane being a human being. And in this case, you know, it might not be that Kayn. Case. It's been a long week. We're putting out a record amount of content. My mind is going crazy, apparently. So in this situation, you're just going to reset now and re-clear. So the holding and junking and basically compromising the lane for the Echo is brilliant. Now Syndra has total control. You can float up to your topside Raptors. The Graves is disrespecting this. You know, Malphite stayed out. The Graves is completely disrespecting it. So what you can do is rotate up very easily here. I'm worried about the Nocturne going to your blue side now, though, especially if you show top lane. So you might get counter jungled there. Graves just gives you a freebie. Now, don't tell me, we're level 6 at 527 by doing this, by the way. Don't tell me for a second that laners in your elos are not making these mistakes. They are. It's very obvious, and there's a Nocturne. You see, as I said, if you show top lane here, 100% he's going to say, whoa, 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 whoa. Dude doesn't come back. He's killing my Graves. He's taking his topside camps. Gromp and Wolves are available. Yes, I enjoy. And he goes down here, and you can always cheese the bottom lane. But Thresh didn't want that. So they can't do it. But he could always just counter jungle. But now, of course, you don't have the support of the support. And Aphelios and Karma, well, Karma's going back to base here. But you know that Kayn's going to retreat now and come down. So you really can't afford to risk it. So this is lucky by the Kayn at the same time. But he's 6 anyway. So even if the Nocturne gets Grump, you just float on down, use your ultimate power spike, and you can get ahead. I like that, you know? I like that early game. It's decisive, it's deliberate, it forces the enemy jungler to be in awkward situations, and now basically you have control. Do we get down to the bottom side, or do we assume that he might have taken our camps? And I think that's something that's very important. If you think he took your camps, even if there's a small possibility, and you have tempo advantage in terms of experience, and this just happens to be RNG Crab topside. Actually, I'm going to pause it because we need to sort of slow down before we carry on. He can assume that the Nocturne might have taken his camps, right? Which means, say you didn't have vision whatsoever, which means if the Nocturne does this, you show top, you see the Nocturne show on the map here, you assume he might go and fall back to take these, you know that if he goes back to base now, or tries to float through mid lane, that the next destination for him is going to be Boom Boom, because that isn't going to be up for another 50 odd seconds. 30 to 60 seconds. You have the timer in game. Which means now we can go for this neutral objective. We can look to gank top lane again and abuse the lane. Really, just get fed and feast on the Graves' soul. Because he's playing Graves in the lane. He deserves this pain. What is going on? And now you can always cut down and cut off the Nocturne's farming as well, right? So he has all the decisions in the world, all the control in the world. Now Thresh does use the roaming component. The Syndra, the Aphelios dies 1v1 to the Ziggs. Now that Syndra's going on an adventure of grand and cosmic proportions, Kayn does as we said. We do not need to ult this at all. The Q slow from the Malphite is great. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let the lane that's going to lose and do badly, which is your bottom lane, do what they need to do. Let them exist in perpetual pain. They deserve it. The Nocturne gets 6 and ults top lane. The Malphite uses his ult to get out of the danger zone. Yeah, we could have predicted this. We could have pushed the lane with him. Let's be honest. Maybe we should have. Maybe we should have. It just gives that element of protection. But if you have a lane that's just gifting you kills and experience as a jungler who's farming very well and has map control, use it and abuse it. And this Kayn always seemingly gets really giga-fed like this. And the scanning here is very important because now the Graves is thinking, there's no way. The classic odd one phrase, they will never expect me to come a 7th time with the old original Nunu. Anyone remember? Oh, he misses W. We can ult. We have damage. We've already used the Iron Spike Whip. The Malphite tanks something, gives it a ground slam, and we survive. Nicely done. A little close, but we're comfortable. And now the Graves is 0-4-0. Oh, look at this. Better push it, you know? You weren't going to get there anyway, Malphite. And now your top laner, as a tank, can look to make impact. This is brilliant, you know? The total map control and the lane presence he's had is irritating. The lane is going to feel like, hey, is this a 2v1 game or what? And what's my jungler doing? The revenge of 200 years. Wait. Okay. So the ult missed. Nocturne flashes to not miss his Q. And then Virkayu with an Aphelios. But Ziggs should be able to get this pretty easily. There you go. Nice. Nocturne hits his Q that time. You know, this is expected. When you spend so much time on one side of the map, and Echo roams as well. So double kill for the Nocturne. So he's actually gotten himself back into the game. Kayn knows that the Syndra's walking back to the lane, and look at this. This is cheeky, you know, like even if lanes are kind of slow pushing or kind of neutral, you know, if you really want to solo carry, this is a little silly, but I'm Bruiser Kayn, baby, and I heal and I have Iron Spike Whip, and that was, he should have known that they're coming up from this side, but he turns it to his advantage. 4-0-1, up 13 CS. The Nocturne's done a solid job getting himself back into the game, and now look, he's using the lead that you gave to him. You know, but we can continually get fed. That's blue form. Now Nocturne again, you know, the Malphite's pushing here, he's getting low. The Nocturne can return. The champion is still really, really strong. Here we go, Flying Pigeon, turn into a Torpedo, die. Also Iron Spike Whip. Kayn's on the bottom side of the map, and we basically now need to translate this into an objective lead, because if we don't, then it was all for nothing. And the fact that he's making the Nocturne kind of run around the map, without legs, is kind of mean, you know, but float around the map, if you will. It means that there's no settling for objectives, you know, there's no like obvious window for anyone to go for anything. And because you're blue Kayn, you can really just ease through the entire map basically and get to places that no other jungler can. Whew, it gives you the ability to kind of just prevent the game state getting away from you from these plays. Like if you camp top lane, typically you might lose dragons and such things, but because of his everywhere-ness, that's not really a possibility. We use the R there to escape from the W. The Lantern saves him. Everyone hates Thresh for that reason. I don't know. It's a karma to a degree, but at least she has to press a button. You know, the Lantern just kind of flies out and it's doomed. They're actually doing this without him. So this is interesting. If you feel, and you know, this is a bottom lane thing, and I have done this myself in the bottom lane. If the enemy jungler is nowhere near, if the laners are gone, if the game state is in our favor just for this current moment, we'll do this, you know, you don't need the smite to secure it. You can actually go top side to cut off the top scuttle here and look for the double objective at the same time. Although, in your elos, this won't happen, so please make sure you are there for the dragon. You can always load on up afterwards. Take your raptors. Syndra's moving down. Bot lane is not on the map, recalling. We don't actually know where they're going. Thresh's roams could be a question, but abuse the lane we've been abusing. This is a great ward, I love it. Use it in your jungle as well. Whether it's the Kayn using the ward here, or the Nocturne showed, or the Graves using it as defense. You know, Kayn can use it for aggressive reasons, and Graves can use it for defensive reasons. Now the tower's gone, and the Nocturne is here with the ult coming up very soon. They should have seen this. This is silly chasings. But, once again, Aphelios. Can Nocturne turn the tides? Hi, Thresh. Okay, there you go. But we'll take that. That's an objective. And you know what? There's still 2 minutes for plates. And Graves, my friend. Hello. I've come to collect my annual bounty. This poor guy. This poor guy, man. He deserves it, though. His name's Lane Dominator 69. He ain't dominating anything. For the enemy, maybe. Nocturne ults into the mid lane, so he's trying his best to use Nocturne's kit to clean up the mid and the bottom lane. But because the Kayn has gotten so damn fed off this Graves, focusing one lane and snowballing it, and also, you know, counter-jungling and getting objectives, look at the damage he's already putting out. And we're not going the Man and Moon build, as we said. With Presence of Mind, you don't really need it at all. And you can just go into your typical sort of bruiser builds. We'll see what he goes. I know he goes to GA for this game, so. GA is really good for anyone if you have a huge lead, because the build path is nice. The armor is really good against the Nocturne and the Graves. Obviously, they're a hybrid damage team. But most importantly, it allows you that second chance should you overcommit in some capacity. And the only way they really come back into the game is by cheesing you. Malphite, once again, over-pushing, using his ult. 3-man Goon Squad top lane, you take his jungle from him, that's perfect. If anyone splits bottom side here, they should die. So we set the trap, we chill, we wait. We see 4 top, so it's unlikely to happen. Let's reset now, and then we can rotate to that fight and defend our camps. But we have all the objectives, we have everything we need. We're going straight into the Serpent's Fang, actually. Nice item, I really like it. We have the shields from the Thresh, we have the shields from the Echo W. People are buying it anyway, just because it's overall good, really great stats. You know, the 55 and 18 is always useful. But shield avoidance is crucial. We do have this as well, I suppose. Okay, I can see it. I can see it now. W hits, animation doesn't show because replays are glitched, and there you go. So What do we do now? A lot of you will find yourselves getting to this stage of the game. 6-0-1, 121 CS, a dragon, a herald. What do we do to close the game out? And how do we do it without a team being basically anything? Because look, the Malphite's done a good job, but I think he's used his ult to run away. And has he ever used it once to hit the team? He's just using it to escape after over-pushing. Syndra has done nothing really since the first gang. And bottom lane is just semi... They're not inting, but they're playing badly. Not really doing much. I mean, they have some decompression pressure, alright, but I don't really give value to what they've done, you know? They're not 2-20, so that's something, you know? We take that. Clear your whole jungle top to bottom. There's no objective worth fighting over whatsoever. This tower's still up, this tower's still up. There's always a threat of some kind of roaming gank. Malphite can keep pressure here. He does have TPs going on the graves right now. The Kayn can now shadow his laner, who's splitting. And if you're shadowing a laner without a lot of... this is great. I love this so much. Once you've sequenced top to bottom and there's an objective spawning, don't go back to base. Don't run away. Shadow your laner. She's going to push up. She doesn't have mobility. She doesn't have flash. She doesn't have TP. She's not 11 for a while. We're level 12. You one-shot everyone. If you're a Kayn that's fed here and you're not doing this, rethink your actions because this is so easy. She can bait this really nicely. Scan it up, good pathing. And now we just wait. Okay? 2 mid, 1 top, echo commits, die. It's so easy. Push this. Okay? With the Syndra, push. Nocturne's gonna come and defend it, won't matter. We can auto attack it. We've got a lot of time. We take it. We eat through the wall. Probe to push away any sort of people that might want to contest the dragon. Get some deep vision into their jungle. Standard stuff. Start the dragon. Whoa, okay. Fortunately, we're Kayn, so... Doesn't really matter what the rest of your team is doing, you know? He's playing around what his team gives him. I always get nervous there that the laners are going to take my crab. Gold amount, what are we at? 1872, so we could technically finish this quadrant and reset and maybe buy some components. Or if you feel like you just want to stay out a little longer, you could do the Raptors, but we don't want our team to go into the field without us too much because this happens. So, you know, imagine you stay out here, you could rotate, but all of a sudden now you're staying out with like 2-3k gold and your advantages diminish. So that's a good recall. The Karma shouldn't have been in that situation. Okay, let's go on an adventure. We have Gore Drinker finished. We have Serpent's Fang completed. Went for that as an early spike. And now we can go straight into the Death's Dance and GA. Imagine if more of Mortis was actually useful. That's a dead thresh. And this is it. Now you become the big question mark. And this is what people hate about Kayn. It's an Ocean Soul as well. That misses. Mobility is insane. This is the pressure you can provide now, right? We're not always looking necessarily just to run in and die. And you saw from Kayn, we can poke a little bit. And because they're all squishies. So you might argue, right, wait, you know, melee from the Nocturne and the Echo. Yeah, but you've also got 2 range out of the core laners. And it's not necessarily just about the melee component, it's also about how do the team fights work. And because they're all really squishy, they're papers, you can just burn them up very easily as Blue Kayn. And because they do a lot of damage back, the bruiser nature of it, most of the time, if you build it, especially with Gore Drink, it gives you the sustain necessary, you know? Flanking, lots of flanking. Wait for cooldowns to be burned, wait for positions to be revealed, and then kill. Don't go in 1v5 and try and, you know, 1v9 the game. Let them commit to your team who are useless. And now when you see commits by the enemy team, now we push, you see? Where are they? Where are they? Okay, 3 top, fine. I can come out of hiding, we can push it. You take the CS. And now we can retreat. His red buff is up, we want to yoink that. We want to yoink the Krugs as well, deny. You can stay for an assassination attempt, but remember their team is there, yours is not. Fall back to the crab. This is absolutely textbook snowball closeout jungling. If there's a fight in the mid lane and you are really fed, please do rotate to this. We should be able to get a lot of kills into a Baron. Hey, Malphite. He ults. Graves dies. We ult the Thresh. It's so easy. Really, really easy. As long as you snowball... That's a flash? Or was it a flash? No, it wasn't. It just looked like it might have been. Spell shield. Animations in some of these skins confuse me. That's an unfortunate Echo ult because it wasn't... Kayn wasn't in it. But even so. We have this up again. Use your Q for mobility as well. In and out, in and out. Blue Kayn, Shadow Assassin. I mean, I'm a Rust enjoyer. Everyone knows that. But I am a Shadow Assassin enjoyer as well. The first video on my main channel that went to 10,000 views back in end of 2017 was the Shadow Assassin Season 7 build. Because I was using it on a new account. I've only ever hand-leveled accounts. Just to kind of try new junglers. And Kayn was one of them. And I just ended up spamming Shadow Assassin, not really trying anything new at all. Because it was just so damn fun and so easy to carry games with this playstyle. So it's something that I enjoy greatly also. When I played Rengar in Season 4, like my first real season, it was the same kind of thing. But different times. Take their jungle always. Make sure you enjoy these fruits of the map. Dragon is spawning. Baron is up. Don't overstay for a grump. Watch your team on the bottom side. Now we have the GA, you see? So normally you could go into different itemization. Obviously, itemization for AD fighters and assassins, in this case, if you go in this build, is really versatile. And you can really go whatever you like. I do see the death stunts as well. But the GA here is basically saying, you know what, if I do get caught out, you know, by the Thresh, by a Zig Satchel, you know, something weird happens, the GA gives me that survivability component. I can afford to go a little bit more ham to create that suction effect. And if you die, you can come back to life, and your team can clean up. So what I mean by suction effect, if we just pause here, it's something I introduced in that Kayn video, and I talked about it in the Assassin teamfighting guide, and a lot of people have a problem with, is if you go in 1v3 right now, right? Their whole team is going to be like, uh-oh, and they're just going to zone in on you like this. And usually as an assassin, if you get CC'd, you die. This, with the Gore Drink, it gives you a bit more sustain. You press it active, you can live a little bit longer, you still get the one-shot damage. But say you die, they've used a lot of spells to kill you, and your team, it's very easy to clean up even if they're inept. But why always take that risk when you can just go for the GA? And if that does happen, right, you get the suction effect, you just come back to life, they've wasted all their spells, your team and you pile on, and GG. And that's very important when you have a snowballing lead. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, did you forget that I am Kayn? What's up? Ocean is up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit more conservative. I'm on it. I'm doing it, and then I'm eating afterwards, but you don't necessarily need to do it in that order. Just pinging it. Hey, Ziggs. Nope, just... You see this? He's not living in his jungle. He's living in their jungle. He's taking all their stuff. We could objectively say we should have done the dragon. We should be here with our team, but... I think because you're Kayn, you can very easily get from place to place. A to B. Yeah. Nothing else to do. Team wants a reset. Let's do it. Let's take the Scuttle Crab. That's denied. Because you don't want to give them a window, right? You give them one dragon. You give them two dragons. Don't give them any dragons. Pure domination. And you get it by really just impacting every lane, but getting super fed on one. So he dives back line here. That's a dead Ziggs, 100%. We can Q for mobility. We're going to have an E back into the wall. We avoid the Thresh with nice dodges. They're chasing you while the rest of your team kills this champion. And all of a sudden, you know, the two carries are dead. And you can push him back. Watch the hook. Use your Q for mobility. Oof. So slippery. And you can go straight to Baron. You don't have to be there at this point, because your team should have smite and everything, but see, this is where the GA is important. Now, I don't think you should be in this exact situation. I don't think you should be in that situation to proc the GA, but having a little bit of fun isn't a problem. I would always, though, if you... Why do you need to build lethality? I mean, just doesn't matter. I would always be on the Baron there just to make sure the win is nice and clean, yeah? In Challenge, it's a little different sometimes, but in your Smurf games, make sure you are with your team. Baron is secured, Inhib is secured. I do like what the Kayn's doing, though, in this situation. If the enemy team has a lot of wave clear, then we can just push this, and your team can catch you, and you can get double Inhib, which is what it looks like that happens. And I think that's a really great component of Blue Kayn as well. Keeps him Blue Kayn instead of Shadow Assassin, but you know what I mean. Push the waves out. I would just be taking this, waiting for the next wave to crash. Aphelios gets rooted. Nocturne dives back. We all avoid the Echo W. Echo's diving the Syndra. She'll die, but it doesn't really matter. Malphite is zoning as he does best, and then Kayn can re-engage. And his ult is up. And now he just sows the disrespect. Looks like he laid the lantern on the ground. It's kind of weird animation. Together. Well done. 20-0-3, absolute perfection jungling. Nothing anyone can do. S+ build. Yeah. Strong blue Kayn. And you see how easy it was. Full clear, take a crab, impact the map, hold the wave, take your other camps, anticipate the Nocturne on the other side, take his stuff, kill the Graves again, take your second round of camps again. Maybe float mid bot if you can, if you need. Get those objectives. Camp top lane again. Get the Herald. And the enemy jungler is just not going to know what to do because you're just running at such a heavy pace. We don't have GA now. Alright. That should do it. Hopefully that makes sense. It was a bit of a speed run, but and sorry for the misspeaks, as it were. My mind is exhausted from everything that's going on. But I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. Please do like, share, and comment if you did. Head to the main channel. We're going to have 3 videos next week on there. I'll try to get 3 on this, but it might be 2. Let's see how we go. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next video.